They told me a brake job I did send a family into a guardrail. The service director said it flat, across his desk, on a Monday morning. A customer's SUV, brakes I had supposedly serviced, had failed on a downhill merge 3 weeks after it left our shop. The family was okay. A mother and 2 kids, low speed, into a guardrail, walked away with bruises and 1 fractured wrist. He said okay like it was the only mercy in the story. Then he turned his monitor toward me and showed me the repair order with my technician number printed on it, and he asked me how a master tech with 24 years lets a vehicle leave on bad brakes. I looked at that repair order and the floor went out from under me, because I had never touched that car. I am an ASE master technician. 24 years. I am the guy they hand the jobs nobody else can figure out, the intermittent electrical gremlins, the diagnostics that have beaten 3 other techs. I do not rush and I do not cut corners, because I have a kid in trade school who thinks his old man does it right, and because brakes are not a thing you are ever casual about. The idea that a family got hurt on my work was, for a second, the worst thing I had ever heard. And then the second passed, and I remembered that I had not done the work, and the question became how my number got onto a job my hands never saw. The man who put it there was my service manager. His name was Doyle. He was in his 30s, and he was paid on throughput, on how many hours the shop flagged, on keeping the bays moving. Doyle did not turn wrenches. Doyle moved numbers. What had actually happened, I would piece together later, was this. That SUV's brake job got assigned to me. Then the shop got slammed, and Doyle needed the bay and the hours, so he pulled the job off me and handed it to a green flat-rate kid we had hired 2 months before, a kid who did not yet know what he did not know. The kid did the job fast and wrong, missed something that mattered, put cheap pads on a heavy SUV. And so the labor would bill at the master rate and the paperwork would look clean. Doyle closed that repair order under my technician ID. My number, on the kid's work, to make the billing pretty. He never thought about it again. Until the brakes failed. When it came time to find someone to blame, Doyle did not hesitate. He pointed the service director and the manufacturer's field rep straight at the repair order. Hector did this job, he said. Look, his number is right on it. 24 years, and he got careless. He said it sadly, the way a man sounds when he is sacrificing you and wants credit for being sorry about it. And it almost worked, because everything pointed at me. My ID was the tech of record. The system said it was mine. Doyle was management, and the director trusted him. And a master tech standing up to say no. The service manager secretly reassigned that job and put my name on it. Sounds exactly like a proud old tech who cannot admit he blew a brake job and hurt a family. The flat-rate kid, terrified, went quiet and let Doyle's version stand. I almost did the thing you do when you are innocent and the world has already decided. I almost stood in that office swearing on my 24 years, on my certifications, on my kid, that I would never let a car go on bad brakes. All of it true. None of it proof. A liability review does not run on a man's reputation. It runs on the record, and the record had my number on it. But I have worked in dealerships for a quarter century, and I know exactly how many things in that building are quietly writing down who did what. A modern shop runs on logs nobody thinks about. The shop management system tracks every action on a repair order with the user account and the timestamp. Who opened it? Who it was assigned to? Who reassigned it? Who clocked labor against it? Who closed it? The tech of record field can be edited, sure. But the edit history underneath it cannot be erased. Every tech clocks onto a job through a labor terminal with his own login, so the system knows, to the minute, whose hands were billing time on that car. And every part that goes on a vehicle gets ordered through the parts system under a specific login. The building had been documenting that brake job the entire time, in 3 different systems, none of which cared what Doyle wanted the story to be. I did not have to win an argument. I had to make the systems talk. Through the manufacturer's required incident audit, which I had every right to be part of since my certification was on the line, we pulled the full history. The repair order edit log. The labor clock records. The parts order log. It was not subtle. The repair order had been assigned to me, yes. And then, 90 minutes later, it had been reassigned, by Doyle's account, to the flat rate kid. The kid's login clocked every minute of labor on that car. 40 minutes, start to finish, on a job that should have taken twice that. The cheap pads were ordered under the kid's login, on Doyle's authorization code. And my technician number? I had clocked 0 minutes against that repair order. I had never logged into it. I had never ordered a part for it. The only place my ID appeared was in the tech of record field, which Doyle's account had edited back to my number at 7:51 the night before the RO was billed and closed. 91 days that car had been a problem with my name on it. And the system knew, the whole time, that I had never been within 10 feet of it. Here is the part one will keep. The dealership convened a formal incident review because a crash with injuries and a liability claim is not something a service manager can paper over alone. The service director was there. The manufacturer's field rep was there. The kid was there, pale. And Doyle was there, in a pressed shirt, ready to be heartbroken about my carelessness one more time. My rep asked to put the repair order history on the screen. He walked it line by line. Assigned to Hector. Reassigned, by Doyle's account, 90 minutes later, to the kid. The kid's labor clock, every minute. The cheap pads under the kid's login, Doyle's authorization. Hector's labor on this job, 0. Hector's logins to this RO, none. And the tech of record flipped back to Hector's number from Doyle's account at 7:51 p.m. the night before billing. The kid looked at that screen, and then he looked at the director, and he stopped protecting Doyle. He said, quietly, that Mr. Doyle had told him to take the job and not to worry about whose name was on the paperwork. That was the whole thing, said out loud, by the one other person who had been there. I watched it land. I watched the manufacturer's rep start writing. I watched the director turn his head slowly toward Doyle. And I watched Doyle, who had been so smooth, stop being able to say anything, because his own account's fingerprints were all over that repair order, at timestamps that told the entire story without me having to say a word. Doyle was gone by the end of the week. The dealership reported him to the manufacturer, and his management credentials were pulled. The state and the customer's attorney were given the real record, and my name came off the claim entirely. I was cleared. My certification was never touched. And the thing I asked for, the only thing, was that they not hang the scared kid out to dry, because he had been set up too, just younger and with less to stand on. They put him under me. He is my apprentice now. I am teaching him to never, ever rush a brake job, and to clock his own work under his own name, because someday the record will be the only thing standing between him and a lie. I went back to my bay. I am still there, still taking the jobs nobody else can crack. 24 years I have grumbled about that shop system. Clock on, clock off, log the part, sign the RO, scan everything, 100 little entries a day that felt like a leash. I called it busy work more times than I can count. And then a man tried to put a family's wrecked brakes in my hands, on a car I never touched, and it was that same nagging, humorless system, logging every login and every timestamp, that knew exactly whose hands had been on that job. It was never built to protect me. But it kept an honest record. And when I needed it to say I was never there, it said it, to the minute.